It's time to reflect, reset, and reinvent and make your 2025 the most intentional year yet.
Today on the Wandering But Not Lost podcast. And now your host, Jen O'Brien and Matt Emerson. Welcome everyone to the WB&L Wandering But Not Lost podcast, where together we align, connect, and prosper. This is episode 321, and you can find all of the show notes over at WBNLpodcast.com. Jen O'Brien, the year is literally winding down. It's so weird. We did the whole gratitude stuff in November, and then it gets to be Thanksgiving, and then it just all of a sudden is the first of the year. I don't know what happens to December. It's weird.
It's wild. And I realized today that I have a couple things to mail for my Christmas presents, and I'm now concerned they're not going to make it in time. I got to get out and do it today.
Christmas is still 12 days away?
Yes, but you know what the deal is, and you get this. I think we're pretty close. I'm pretty close to the deadline to be able to make it back to I've got to get something to Texas. So we'll see. But anyway, I agree with you.
Speaking of, we finally got our Christmas tree yesterday. We have. It's taken us this long to actually get that. So we're finally there.
Ask you, I turned my tree on this morning. I'm like, I got to ask Matt Emerson if they've got their tree up yet, because you have a very great tradition that you and Laura go through and how you decorate your home. And have you done any decorations at all in your home?
Everything's been decorated for weeks now.
The tree's always last.
For Thanksgiving, the house was decorated.
All right.
So because we wanted to have that time around Thanksgiving just to be not having to be, worrying about all that stuff. But the tree, we got it. And I say this every year, but I really think this is the most beautiful tree we've ever gotten. It is gorgeous, gorgeous tree. So I can't wait. We're going to decorate this weekend.
Today, what we're going to do, we have really spent the time talking about several of the ideas that we're going to cover today, but we've got a unique twist, or perhaps thinking a little bit outside the box of some actionable steps that will help you really take the rest of this year if you're listening to this right now. But if you happen to catch this episode later, no time like the present to work on any of the things that are going to help you really take some time to reflect and get everything reset for what you're wanting to accomplish in the upcoming year. So we really love the word intentions. We spent a lot of time talking about that in previous episodes, and we've talked about gratitude. So we basically have 4 areas that we're going to talk about this and maybe give you an interesting actionable step, and maybe 1 or 2 of these ideas are going to really resonate with you that might help you really get the work done. So what we know, what we try to do here at the podcast and with our coaching company is provide the tools and the resources and the training material and so forth to help you get where you want to go, what you want to accomplish, but you have to do the work. We can't do the work for you. Yeah. So we want to encourage you one more time before the year ends to take the time to sit down and do that reflection and get clear. This is not all about the nuts and bolts of your business plan today. That is something that you need to focus on. But honestly, even just getting clear about what you want to accomplish in all areas of your life in the new year and what you can do to continue to let go of things that don't work for you and really allow room for the new things to come in is what we're going to talk about today.
And I really feel like just because everything's been going on in the world in the last couple of years, that we're so jammed up, and so there's more anxiety and there's more stress, and it just seems like there's so much more that's on everyone's mind. And in order for you really to thrive and prosper, you need to get in your head a little bit, work some of that stuff out, and free up some space to be focusing on your goals and what you really want to achieve. So I think it's really important to do a lot more reflection than maybe you've either felt comfortable doing or that you've ever done in the past. So,
and I have to tell you, I am a big believer in this, and we talk about it every year, and I have really done more of this year so far.
Me too.
And I am really, this weekend, I'm working on a couple more deeper things of stuff we're going to talk about today to really get clarity and make the commitment to what I'm going to do and not just sort of gloss over it. So let's jump in with the first step, which is reflect. Remember, we're going to talk reflect, reset, reinvent. We have another little idea for you, and then we'll remind you of these calls to action for you. So the power of looking back, reflection, how powerful this is. So the idea here, the twist that we have for you is called the reverse gratitude exercise. So love this idea. Reflect on challenges or unexpected moments from 2024. I don't know about you, Matt, but I've had a few of those. Okay. Now, and this is so powerful. So not, what you're grateful for. So this is even, the twist is finding the gratitude even in the most challenging things that you had happen, or things that you weren't expecting that wasn't on your bingo card, if you will.
Yeah.
So, and then ask the questions. This is where you can journal this. What lessons did this thing teach you? Did this event, did this challenge teach you? And how has it shaped you for the better? Man, if we had another hour, I could tell you specifically how this has impacted me and what I'm already doing. And then gratitude for your personal growth, not just for the good times, for the growth that comes from challenges and sometimes negative, perceived negative or really negative things that can happen. If you can follow this path and not fall into victimhood of like, why did these things always happen to me? And here we go again, which is negative self-talk. Let's talk about, let me stop and reflect. Why is this happening? How can I, take responsibility for my involvement in it? And what am I learning from it? That's so powerful. So here's another actionable sort of item. What's one hard thing you're proud of overcoming this year? Write that down. Okay.
Yeah, that's really cool. So once you do the work on all of that, it's time to jump to the second part of this, which is the whole reset part of it, right? What you're going to release that doesn't serve you anymore. So you go through that whole process of figuring out what those things are, and then the kind of the little twist on this one is that often you're writing down your goals, or you should be writing down your goals. And Jen O'Brien, we have to talk about doing the daily every time we do the podcast, so you have your daily things you're always going to work at, the list in front of you, and the things that are going to be front of mind for you. But the little bit of twist on this, and this isn't completely obviously unique, but to write down your let it go list, right? So instead of writing your goals and your to-dos and all of that, you're going to write down the things and actually write down the things that you just figured out in your reflection, what you're going to release in the coming year. And writing anything down always just kind of reaffirms it and re-cements it into your head, right? Because you're actually writing the words down on the piece of paper. So write those words down and build that let it go list. And then, if you want to just take it to that next step and really have an action around all that, then destroy that list, get rid of that list. Now, if you got a lot of things on your list, I wouldn't maybe recommend burning it, because you probably start a fire. So we don't recommend going around burning things, but if you just got a little list, have a safe way to do it. You can burn that. That's very symbolic, kind of ritual, the little ritual to that. But you can shred your list. You can rip up your list. You can wad up your list. You can do everything. But the whole idea is that you are physically getting rid of that stuff. That's like you're trashing that and you are getting it out of your life. So, that's what you want to do to change that whole mindset and kind of, get that going. And then just really start focusing on that mind shift and how it's going to open up space in your world to put some other stuff that's going to be more positive for you and things that are going to help you, thrive more and be happier in 2025.
I love it. So now it gives us to the third step in this process, which we're calling Reinvent, where you're going to craft your best year through maybe some out of the ordinary actions. Yeah. Okay. So what are some out of the ordinary steps that align with gratitude, balance, and growth, which is what we've really been talking about a lot in the past several months. So here's one cool idea, and it's called the Bold 30 Challenge. Okay. I love this. This really is in alignment with the resource material that could help you with this. Is if you want to go look at the book Atomic Habits, this is what it reminds me of a bit of. It's about making one bold thing, and it can be a small thing. I'll give you an example. One small thing that you're going to do for 30 days, just one. It can be anything. It could be just a daily walk, something like screen-free mornings, handwritten notes. It could also be like drinking water. Like if you're not a great water, I think water, I've been hearing that for years, and I'm like, I just can't drink all the water. But for some reason in the last year, my body's going, drink some more water, choose water over other things. And I've been able to eliminate so many other things, and I really actually enjoy water. And it's making a difference in my life because it does, water is what our body needs, right? To sort of flush stuff out and to balance and to help you curb, everything, just regulate things. But that's the example of it. If you don't drink water every day, which I haven't been doing, that's the thing that I do now. And it's at least, I have to have at least, like 32 ounces of water a day. and I probably could drink more, but it's balancing the whole thing with like, that means running to the restroom more times. Okay. So try a bold 30 challenge. Don't make the thing that you choose to go do for 30 days so overwhelming that you're going to set yourself up for failure. Pick something that you've been wanting to do that you could do, and it's incrementally, or even over 30 days, you'll see a change, right? Anything else you want to add to that one?
No. Do you know what you're going to do? Have you already picked yours?
Honestly, it's daily walks. You know me. I'm not always doing that. So daily walks. I'm doing all the other things I'm drinking my water. So I just told you, that wouldn't be a challenge for me. So it's not the water. That water's already in now. I got that habit going. So for me, it's daily walks.
That's cool.
Daily walks.
Very good.
And my check on that is to use the app called Map My Walk that I share it with my sisters. It's kind of our accountability that you post it and then you get a notification that somebody in your group did a walk. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very smart.
All right. The next one's called a joy audit. Where did you feel the most joy in 2024? What did you accomplish? Who did you become? What were all those little moments of joy? This is all about celebrating the success and the good things and the happiness that happened. But, sometimes when you really just do this one exercise and spend a little time on it, as long as you just get into the space, and you really almost have to get into the space, whether you just do a little bit, put on some music, or do something that you're not thinking about what you have to go do right next when you're done with this. This is a reflection time as well, but it's also making sure that you can appreciate and focus on the positive things that happened, the things that made you happy and joyful in the year, and not just focus on things you didn't accomplish, right? I like this one too. You've probably heard something like this, just a little twist on it. Be the author exercise. Write a letter to yourself as if it's already December 31st, 2025. What did you accomplish? Who did you become? And I've been doing some things with this, some things that I'm working on right now. This is the thing I'm going to work on this weekend, which is basically this particular exercise, which is stepping into the future self that you want to be right now. And the way to do that is you've got to actually put down in writing, who are you, or who do you want to be? What's different about, this is part of that release and welcome. It's like really embodying how you feel, because this is what your day looks like. This is what you've accomplished. This is what your values are. These are the things you've let go of this, and this is in your world now, the things that you want to welcome in, and how does that make you feel? And it's you write that down, but here's the deal. We're not going to wait until December. We're going to start acting as if that's already happened.
Right.
And now you are kind of programming your subconscious mind that is reality. That is reality, and things will start happening for you. If you hold on to well, let me just wait until December to see if that happens. You've got to do the actions. You've got to go do the activity that you're setting yourself up for, which we've been talking about. You got to let go of the things. You have to identify and let go of the things that are not working for you, as we've said. So you can have and identify what it is you want to bring in. And this is a powerful exercise to do. Write the letter as if you're exactly who you want to be, but then think about embracing that. Just really start embodying every day. That is who I am. So step into your future self today. All right. And the last one, so powerful, reclaim time for balance with, again, a simple habit or a ritual that you set up. And we're calling it the one anti-hustle habit. For example, a tech-free Sunday. Or could it be a tech-free Sunday morning from this time to this time you don't turn on your devices? It could be 10 minutes of just doing a meditation. How about just 5 minutes of a daily meditation where you just sit in silence and you just keep on doing that and you see what happens? And then set a timer 5 minutes later. I've been doing that. And in the beginning, when I first started doing these kind of things, my mind would be like, okay, when is this going to be over? All those things. And I've been doing a lot of stuff with mindfulness, meditation, breath work. Now I can sit for a long time and I like it. And if thoughts come in, that I'm like, oh, I have to go do this. I just let it go, let it fall off the back of my head, just let it float on by on a cloud, whatever the visual is. So you can bring yourself back to your breath. And this is in that stillness is where you can get all kinds of great inspiration and creativity popping in, and just really actually be present in the moment. That's what that does. When you take those few minutes and you just breathe and you focus and you just be still, this is where the magic happens, and this is where you are completely present in the moment when you're able to let go of the thoughts. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. So funny to go through this list because I've been doing a series of YouTube shorts for a little over probably about 10 days now, and all of this is just tying into a lot of that kind of stuff that I've been doing on these shorts. And if you haven't found those shorts yet, go over to our YouTube channel, to our shorts, and subscribe, because what I have found by doing these shorts, it's setting some time aside while I'm filming these or while I'm creating the messages or all of that to actually have some thought, right? I think so often we get caught up just going about our day and doing our thing. We don't take that time just to have that thought. Go to your thoughtful spot and just actually have a think, right? Like this or that. A lot of the things have been this or that. You like sunrises or sunsets? What's the one thing that you would, what was the best day of 2024? Those kind of thoughts, they ground you in a lot of different ways. So go over and subscribe to our YouTube channel and get that
and if I can
throughout the year.
Give you the thing that I think is so powerful about those that you're doing right now, Matt, is that I can tell that you're not just sharing the cool idea, because you're sharing your feelings on it. You're doing the actual exercise you're recommending everybody to do. For me, it's this, and here's why. Yeah. And so it's probably a little bit of self-coaching in a way and self-reflection, which is super powerful, right? So I love it.
Yeah, it's funny because I really had an aversion to going out and doing these short videos for the longest time. And I look forward to doing it now. It's just a fun thing to get into, because I think you're right. It's a little bit of self-therapy time, right? To start going through that.
I'm like, look at that. Yeah, and it's inspiring that, because it makes you want to stop and look and go, well, I like both sunsets and sunrises, because, and here's why. Because for me, it makes me stop and appreciate every single time I see it. And
the fourth thing we want you to do in 2025 is to kind of pick your word or your theme for the year. And, that's nothing, like I said, you can't reinvent the wheel on all this kind of stuff, because it's stuff that, has been around. But, as opposed to just starting out, like, for example, today and saying, this is what I want my theme to be for next year. Let's go back a little bit to what Jan was just talking about with being the be the author exercise, where you're kind of writing down the December of next year. Look at it from the perspective, like, what would the perfect you want your theme to be for 2025? Not projecting what you kind of want it to be right now, but if you were already to your good spot, where you really want to be, because your theme would probably be different, what you would pick right now versus what it would be at the end of the year if you actually achieved your goals and everything, right? So forward think a little bit here. Think about where you're going to be, and then pick what you want your theme to be for a year. And you're kind of preloading up your year with where you want to be at the end of the year. So think about that theme, and focus it around gratitude and intention, and self-awareness and all of that. And I haven't really picked my theme for 2025 yet, so I need to do some work on this, and I think I'll do that while I'm out on the trails.
I like the idea of the one word thing, but you do what you think needs to be. It could be more than a word, but there is power in if a word. And here's the deal: you'll know that it's the right word or phrase for you for your theme if you can connect emotionally. You get a bit of an emotional reaction to it, from it being like, and this is why I agree with what Matt's saying, that it shouldn't be focused on the negative thing. So if there's something you're wanting to release and that's the theme, that's not the theme. The theme is when you release this thing, what does that bring to you? So you focus on the positive, affirmative, best person that you are already, even though you're wanting to get to that place in a time period, right? That's what we're trying to say. It's like, it's very powerful. Your subconscious mind listens to what you say all day long. And if you say negative things like, I have to stop procrastinating, I'm such a procrastinator, here I am procrastinating again, then you're getting more opportunities to procrastinate versus you're disciplined. Okay, so for a procrastinator, the podcast we did last week too, where we're talking about release and welcome, the word that's on the welcome side is more the power word, not the thing you're releasing. Okay, procrastination, discipline. And for a procrastinator, discipline doesn't feel like I want to be there. But that if you're really ready to stop procrastinating, then some form of discipline is what it is you need. Right?
Yeah.
So to embrace, otherwise you continue to stay on the procrastination trail. All right, so let's wrap this up and just remind you of encouraging you to do the reflect on the challenges that you've overcome. Okay, that's that reverse gratitude idea. What did you learn from it? Write that let it go list, and then get rid of it and get it out of that whole symbolic piece of don't have the let it go list hanging around. That's the same thing I was just talking about. Right. We don't want our subconscious mind to be lingering on the things that you're ready to release. Now, you may have to do some work on releasing it. What I'm learning in this breath work that I'm going through, I just had the first week and it was brilliant. And now I'm journaling and stuff, and I have another session on Monday, and I'm just doing this really deep breath work where you're really doing all this breathing, which allows you to get into a state that allows you to really not just intellectualize, I'm releasing it, okay? And this week we're focusing on emotions get stuck in your body, even negative ones. And so it's going when you it's very interesting to start having a different way to become aware. And my breathwork coach is having me look at when I'm out and about, if anything happens and I get an emotion, how does it feel in my body? Where is it in my body? And it's getting me in touch with the emotions, not just the thought that I'm angry. And the thing that keeps happening to me, Matt, it's so funny, is the damn traffic trigger. I really am working on this because I really stay present a lot, and I'm really doing great and relaxed, and I'm more present. But when I get in the car and people are cutting me off and doing that, and I'm not like I said, I'm in a hurry, I have found there's been a couple times this week that I have totally been tested because there's just more traffic for some reason. And I had a lot of driving to do one day, and I found myself getting annoyed with it, and I had to stop and go, now here's the good news. Instead of staying in that space the whole hour drive, I immediately acknowledged it, and I went through this process of what am I feeling? How does it feel in my body? And it was just sort of tightening me up and all of that. And then I started laughing. I'm like, why am I doing this? And it allowed me to just go, okay, I'm letting that go right now. So it's the whole releasing so that you can welcome something in is not just you think about it and you write it down and you let it go. Sometimes it can't be that easy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But here's the thing. If what you've let go because you burned it or tore it up or buried it, you're going to be tested. That's all I'm going to tell you. You're going to have a test. And if the behavior continues to happen, then you haven't really gotten it out of your system. So explore what you have to do to make that happen. That's
on that note with the driving is really funny because Laura she focuses on the road a lot, and she gets irritated a lot. This has been something that it's just actually her whole family does it. That's just what they do. And I am not like that at all really on the road. So it's so funny. So the very first short that I did was called Gratitude on the Go. Exactly. And how you need to be more gracious and, slow down a little bit when you're out on the road. So she watched that video and, we made fun of it together and whatever. Right. But now, exactly what you're saying, where you end up laughing. She'll call me in the morning and she's going to work and it's busy or whatever, and she's yelling at someone, or not literally yelling, but in her mind she's yelling. She makes a comment. I'm like, gratitude on the go, and she will start laughing. She goes, I know. So it's almost like get a little phrase that you can pop back into your head to get you back on track on something.
That's brilliant. It's brilliant because it's literally the awareness thing.
Yeah.
So this is brilliant. If she's got the awareness of it, yep, then she can get herself out of that. Because what happens if you don't? And what was happening for me is you carry that trigger for me of whatever. You're talking and you're yelling at the people, and then you find yourself in this state of being angry or frustrated or whatever is happening for each of us. That's for me. And then it stays with you if you don't become aware of it. And then it flows over into everything that you're doing.
That's the thing right there.
It flows over to everything that you're doing next. And if you can't correct that, then what you're doing is you're keeping your vibration. We always are generating a frequency. We're staying in a low space, which just attracts negative stuff. So the first step is awareness. And then you have awareness. And that's what happened to me. And then I was able to recover from it. Yeah. And I had the whole rest of the time driving, I'm like, why is that still happening for me? Clearly I'm going to be sharing that in my next session and say, this is what happened. I really want to explore why does that trigger me?
Yeah.
And it's really cool. So anyway, so we just mentioned reflect on that reverse gratitude challenge, really appreciate that we all probably had something happen this year. When you agree, one or two things that have happened that you weren't expecting that might have been a negative or traumatic, even a traumatic sort of thing, or just whatever. And there's always something to learn from everything. And that's that number one. Number two is the let it go list, what we just really talked a lot about. You do the step, you get it out of your space, you become aware if it's happening, and you just maybe stop for a second and go, how am I feeling about this? And then you just are aware, and then maybe because you laugh it off, that's what happened. I changed my state because I started laughing instead of staying in the negative space. I laughed. It immediately shifted my energy, and then I realized, okay, I still have to work on this.
That's the power of laughter right there.
All good, because we're all works in progress. It's all good. And the last one of the things we just talked about was that bold 30 action plan. What are you going to change? And maybe the last one too is like, what's your theme, right? What is your theme for 2025? That's maybe because you've done those first few steps and you've really come up with a theme, like your catchphrase, your thing that you're really. Gratitude on the go is basically is a better way to say, don't get triggered by drivers, which is a negative theme, right? Don't be triggered by all the crazy, like, this is what I want to say, all the ridiculous people that are in a hurry that are cutting me off in traffic. I don't know why that bothers me, so I'm going to get to the bottom of that. So share it with us, right? If you're watching us on YouTube, you can comment that. If you're one of our followers, we want to hear back from you. What are you learning? Let's get into a conversation about it, or on our shorts that are on YouTube and so forth. Let's have some more interaction. Okay. That's it.
Please do. And actually, I need to share my bold 30 because I already have picked mine, what I'm going to do for this year. And I have to say it, because if I say it, then I have to do it. It's out there in the universe, right? I have found, because once again, I'm going to go back to, I think we're all a little bit tenser than we have been in the past. And I feel like I can speak for everybody when I say that, because it's just true. You can just see it and people are talking about it. I find that I have, specifically with my spouse, but even with other people, I have been in a space where I find myself pushing buttons that I know are triggers. And I've been doing it more, and I don't know exactly why. It's just because I'm in that, like, well, I guess everyone, I don't know what it is. I don't know why I'm doing this more than I was, but I am, and I'm aware of it. Because if you try to tell yourself that you don't know you're pushing someone's button, you are lying to yourself, because you always know when you're saying something that you know is not right. Right. So my bold 30 is going to be really focusing on when I'm getting ready to do that or about to do that, and not do it, to not push buttons for 30 days, because after 30 days of not pushing buttons, I'm pretty sure I'll be over that hump and not pushing buttons anymore, because I find myself doing it a lot. So I've said it, and now it's time to get to work. And I'm not going to wait till January 1st to do this, because we know we don't do that New Year's resolution thing. I'm starting this today. My bold 30 starts December, Friday the 13th. Good day to start your bold 30. So that's when I'm starting mine. So there you go.
All right. Well, then when we're done with this, I'm going on my daily walk. You don't have to have a daily walk. You do that one.
I do that one. Yeah, exactly. So,
all right.
Awesome. All right, everybody.
I keep doing my water and have a daily walk. I'm 3/4 of the way to my total.
yeah, exactly. You're there, Jan O'Brien. That's fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
You can get all of this information over our show notes at wbnlpodcast.com. This was episode 321. Only a couple more weeks left to the end of the year. We'll be doing our year-end wrap-up in a couple weeks. Jan O'Brien, we really need to do another happy hour, because that was fun. So we need to work that in. We could probably welcome the new year or something in our with
end
some
of the year.
That's an idea.
I think we should. We should start a tradition where we have let's roll. Let's maybe walk through some of these things of letting go of what we learned in the year, and how we're welcoming the stuff into the new year, and just also reflect on like we always do. We do a wrap up of what happened, but we can make it a little bit more personal this year, and recommend that you all do the same.
I love that. I might even wear my tux.
Well, let's think about that. We are going to do we have an episode that's kind of at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Right before.
It's right. I don't know what the date is, but I think the calendar's weird this year with the way everything's falling.
The 27th is we released on the 30th on Tuesday. Is Tuesday we release date for podcast? Yeah. That's the 31st. So
so that's perfect. Yeah, exactly. So we're
totally doing this for our episode.
Love it.
All right.
That's really cool.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, everybody. As always, get up, get out there, and align, connect, and prosper. And then once again, just be forever wandering, but not lost.
Boom.